that's what you want.
All right.
I'm listening.
For peace, spring is sprung. Beautiful. Of course. I'll do my best. Yeah.
If that's what you want.
Yes.
Orders from me?
Well. Let's dream.
If that's what you want.
Beautiful. I'll do my best. All right.
I'm listening.
For peace. Yeah. Of course. Spring is sprung.
Orders from me? Do you need a hug?
Let's dream. Well? Yes. I'll do my best. Beautiful.
If that's what you want.
All right. For peace.
I'm listening.
Of course. Spring is sprung. Yes. Of course. Let's dream.
Orders? For me?
Hey everyone, GuardianE here with another Camilla Emblem Clear video in Fire Emblem Heroes, today taking on CORRIN, Child of Dusk, in her very own legendary hero battle on Abyssal difficulty. So it's finally time for Camilla to take her adorable, darling little sister and knock her down a couple of pegs. And the map itself is actually kind of difficult. I mean, this took a hot minute to complete. There's a lot of really deadly reinforcements, a lot of reinforcements that are really difficult to one-shot or take out, as well as the relatively open pathing of the map itself. And I say relatively because, of course, I do see that there are trenches and some structures here, but there's a generally open space for the enemy to make their approach and for the reinforcements to funnel in. And it's very, very easy, because of the number and the threat of the reinforcements, to get overrun if you're not taking out the units as they're approaching and slowing them down in some capacity. If not using some of the map structures to your advantage, which I certainly had to in order to bait the AI in certain ways, which we'll get into in a little bit later. We can take a look at CORRIN herself here with that lovely Sencha art. So this stat line is absurd, as you can see, 83 HP, 45 defense, 38 res, 52 speed, and 66 attack. Yeah, definitely a monster on the battlefield. She comes with her Primordial Breath, of course, which gives her killer/slaying effect, adaptive damage, and then, of course, a +5 boost to all of her stats, as well as special cooldown charges to her upon attacking, as long as she's enemy phasing or if the foe is at 100% HP. And she has her own unique special, which comes at a 0-turn charge right out of the gate because she has Shield Pulse. So it's a perfect combination, perfect medley there that works synergistically together. We have Negating Fang, which reduces a foe's attack by 30%, and she counterattacks with 30% of an attack boost. Distant counter, meaning that she counters from any range. Shield Pulse, like I said, synergizes with Negating Fang so that she has a 0-turn cooldown on turn 1, Joint Drive attack, and Hardy Bearing, interestingly enough, I think to avoid her getting Vantaged and Desperation, basically, so that she will be able to mitigate the damage from her attack and immediately be able to counterattack. So definitely a big threat on the battlefield. She's accompanied by this Troubadour who is super annoying. Now the Troubadour does not have the Dazzling effect on her staff. She only has the Wrathful effect, which means she's going to do damage, but you're going to be able to counterattack her, which is a big thing. But she comes with Flash Plus, which of course gives the debuff where it prevents counterattacks on the opposing forces, which of course is pretty annoying. Has Earthwater Balm Plus as well, which is a pretty nice special, as well as Renewal, Distant Guard, as well as Live to Serve 3, means that she's going to have her own source of sustain throughout the course of the map. You have this Axe Cavalier to the side that has a Brave Axe, as well as Attack Defense Solo. Solo skills are great on Cavalry, as we know. Guard as well, and Odd Defense Wave 3. Has some considerable defenses anyway. Low speed, but with a Brave Axe, don't need that speed anyway. But yeah, you're not going to be charging your special on him anytime soon. We have this Thief with Barb Shuriken Plus, as well as some heavy investment on some player phase oriented offensive skills such as Life and Death 3 and Swift Sparrow 2. Comes with Panic Ploy 3, and perhaps most notably has Vantage plus Glacies, which is a particularly potent combination when you have 39 res like this and a very, very impressive attack stat. So that Glacie is going to hit super, super hard, and if you get him down to Vantage range, that means that you might be eating that if you end up trying to attack them at long range. Lance Fighter over here has Sapphire Lance Plus, has Sturdy Blow 2, has Steady Blow 2, Times Pulse, and Lunge. You always want to be careful about Lunge characters. They can be a little deceptive because they can very, very quickly ruin your game plan if you're trying to set up a fortification area and not let the enemy pass. They can just lunge and then basically swap you into danger. And then finally, the Red Thief over here, which is the bane of my existence. It seems like they're putting Red Thieves in more and more of their Abyssal, Legendary, and Mythic Hero maps, which I hate, because I just hate dealing with them. But the Thief has 81 HP, 52 attack, 49 res, and 41 resistance, as well as dull ranged 3. So he is particularly difficult to take out with a ranged magic tome user. Has Panic Ploy, which of course is going to be relatively easy to invoke with the 81 HP, Draconic Aura. So that's just the first wave, and of course we'll be talking about the reinforcements as they appear. Let's take a look at the Camillas themselves. We'll start things off with Vanilla Camilla, merged at +10 with a speed asset, has Camilla's Axe with Special Refine, Reposition, Distant Counter, Renewal, Hone Flyers for the C slot, and Spur Attack 3 for the seal, as well as Gale Force for the special. So made a couple of modifications to her just to get some additional turns, basically, as well as some additional buffs on the other Camillas. Next, we've got Spring Princess Camilla, merged at +10 with a speed asset, 5 Dragon Flowers, and Summoner support, has Gromraven Triangle Adept, as well as Reposition for the assist, Miracle for the special, Quick Riposte 3 for the B slot, Goad Flyers for the C slot, and Attack Res Bond 3 for the seal. Next is Flower of Fantasy, Adrift Camilla, merged at +10 with an attack asset, has her Native Book of Dreams, Reposition, Miracle again for the special, Death Blow 3 for the A slot, Axe Breaker 3 for the B slot, Goad Flyers for the C slot, and Attack Speed Bond 3 for the seal.
If that's what you want.
And finally, we have Light of Noor Camilla, +10 with an attack asset, as well as 5 Dragon Flowers, has her Native Sangreather, Restore Plus, Miracle, Attack Speed Push 4, Wrathful Staff 3, Goad Flyers, and Renewal 3. Brave Camilla had the least modifications to her kit. I didn't actually have to change anything around, which is pretty nice. But everybody else had some pretty heavy modification. So let's just get started. My first point of entry was to take out this Lance Fighter. Taking him out was easy just because he's overextended compared to everybody else. Also has Lunge, which is very, very annoying. If you do let him attack into you, even if he does no damage, he's going to draw you into danger range, which you don't want. So we're going to use Brave Camilla to accomplish that, and which will also put gravity on the Red Thief. Which will hold him at bay. So we're going to reposition Brave Camilla forward, and Brave Camilla will be able to take out the Lance Fighter. Boom, boom. And now at this point, we're actually just going to move forward and reposition up to provide support to Brave Camilla so that she can tank the Troubadour that's going to come in and attack. And that's perfectly fine. She's not going to be able to kill the Troubadour, but she'll do some damage. And in the process, by moving everybody to the left-hand side of the map, we're actually pushing the AI and funneling them to the left-hand side. You'll notice there is a lot of cavalry on the map, which is very, very deadly in combination with all of these other ranged units just because of those overlapping danger ranges. So we want to use these trenches to our advantage. So the next spawned reinforcements include this Bow Cavalier that has Fire Sweep Bow, has Life and Death 3, has Defense Res Ruse 3, as well as Savage Blow and Poison Strike. So it's going to be doing some chip damage. Now, one of the nice things of him being a Fire Sweep Bow user is that he can't counterattack you, so you could potentially take pot shots at him to take him out, but otherwise he is a ranged threat. Also spawning is this Axe Knight over here that has Slaying Hammer, has Fortified Defense Res 2, and Wary Fighter 3. So, of course, has 99 HP, as well as 59 defense, but only 27 res. So basically the Reprisal is set so that when you're chipping away at him, he's going to charge Reprisal and do just a ton of damage to you. Next up, we have the Blue Manakete over here with Water Breath Plus. Also has Mirror Stance 2, Quick Riposte 3, Pulse Smoke 3, and Distant Defense 3. There's a lot of enemies on this on the opposing forces that inflict guard on your allies, which can be pretty annoying. There's the Ruse skill, there's the smokes, and everything else. So you do just want to be aware of that and wary of it. But now that we've funneled everybody to the left-hand side, we want to keep them on the left-hand side so they get bunched up and kind of overlap themselves on the trenches. So first thing we're going to do is get rid of the Blue Manakete. We're going to attack into them with Spring Camilla here, doing significant damage. Not quite enough to take her out, but We're going to reposition Spring Camilla to safety. She was in the range of the Axe Cavalier. We just want to get her out of there. And now Vanilla Camilla is in the range of the blue Manakete, so she should be able to take her out on enemy phase without any difficulty. On our Drift Camilla, we have that Axe Breaker, and we brought that specifically just to eliminate the Axe Knight right away. We just don't want to deal with him. Just eliminate him, get him out of there. Now we're just going to shift Brave Camilla to safety, also while, again, inciting that the cavalry move down the left-hand side. Or most of the cavalry, I should say. So Vanilla Camilla does take out the Manakete there, and we get another set of reinforcements, of course. The Brave Axe Cavalier has moved over to the right-hand side and has left themselves overextended and vulnerable. And as far as the reinforcements are concerned, we now have this Green Cavalier up here with Grand Blade, which is always deadly on the enemy team, as well as even Res Wave and Odd Attack Wave. So regardless of what turn it is, this Green Cavalier is self-sufficient in terms of getting Blade Tone boosts. Has Pass, which is always deadly on a cavalry unit because they can just circumvent any walls that you have up kind of with your units and just attack somebody that's weaker. Has Death Blow 3 and Draconic Aura, so definitely a unit to watch out for. We have this Green Mage over here with Grand Serpent, Close Defense, Seal, Speed Res 2, and Attack Opening 3, as well as Miracle. Not really a huge threat. And then over here we have a Sword Flyer with Slaying Edge Plus, Moonbow, has Steady Posture, as well as the new Guard Bearing 3 skill, which I am very covetous of. Also has Ground Orders, so has the ability and potency to create some movement shenanigans, as well as Iote Shield to reduce that flying effectiveness bonuses. Guard Bearing, Steady Posture, and the fact that she has Defense at 28 and Res at 43 makes her considerably tanky and very difficult to one-shot. So on this turn, like I said, thankfully, most of the threatening units have moved to the left-hand side of the map, and a lot of them are going to end up being choke-pointed because of the trenches that are here. That's exactly what we wanted from the AI. The exception being this Axe Cavalier, this Green Mage, and this Sword Flyer. So we want to take them out right quick, and we do that with a combination of having Vanilla Camilla attack into the Green Mage here. We're actually going to use Brave Camilla to take out the Axe Cavalier. There we go, boom, boom. And the Sword Flyer, like I said, with that Guard Bearing is super annoying, but Guard Bearing only takes place in the first combat of a phase. So we're going to actually waste Spring Camilla's attack to do a ding damage on the Sword Flyer, just so Guard Bearing doesn't work anymore. Now we can use a Drift Camilla to just take out the Sword Flyer flat. There she goes. So now, of course, Brave Camilla is in the range of that Grand Serpent user, but she will have Miracle ready, so she'll survive and counterattack for the kill. So now the enemy is going to start funneling back around, which is perfectly fine. And now we're going to want to use Brave Camilla's Gravity to our advantage. Before we get into that, we'll of course take a look at the reinforcements. We have a Red Mage over here with Water Fox Plus, Attack Refine, Fury, Water Sweep, and Rouse Speed Defense 3. Has 45 speed, so pretty considerable speed, paired with Water Sweep can be something of a problem. You have the Bow Fighter over here with Spendthrift Bow Plus with Attack Refine, one of the more recent bows to be introduced into the game, and it is very strong. Has Guard 3 as well as Fury 3, Drive Attack 2, and Brazen Attack Defense 3. So like I said, we're going to be using Brave Camilla's Gravity effect to our advantage, and we're going to be targeting this Thief here first. So we're going to attack the Thief, do some considerable damage to them, and then we're going to have the Gravity effect on Corrin and the Thief. That's also just going to inherently limit the capable movements of the rest of the units around, just as they funnel down this right-hand side. So at this point, we're just going to reposition Brave Camilla to safety with Spring Camilla, and now Spring Camilla is actually in the range of both the Green Cavalier and the Thief, and that is totally fine. She can tank that. I have set her up to be able to tank that. And we're just going to make sure that she has all the necessary buffs that she needs to tank it on this turn. So there we go. They're gonna get the Earth Balm Plus buff. The Grand Raven user is going to fly in there and attack Spring Camilla, but Spring Camilla is going to tank the hit and survive. And at this point, we want to, again, continue to use Gravity to our effect. That is going to be the MVP here, in addition to whittling away the enemy forces. So the first thing we're going to want to do is chip away at the Thief again with Brave Camilla here, and also inflict Gravity on all of the units in a cross around them. Isn't that beautiful? And we're going to use a Drift Camilla to finish off the Green Cavalier. And at this point, when we reposition both of these units back, the only unit that can currently attack is the Thief into Spring Camilla.
Yes.
Which is fine, because Spring Camilla has Miracle at the ready. So Thief is going to attack Spring Camilla, the Miracle is going to go off, and she's going to counterattack with enough damage to eliminate the thief at this point, which is perfect. Now the major threat is going to be the Bowfighter with Spendthrift Bow. So currently Spring Camilla can't survive the counterattack, so we'll just make sure to use Brave Camilla to top off her health a little bit. Now she can engage just fine. We're actually going to go ahead and put Drift Camilla here as well to provide the bond support. It's not going to help in this engagement, but it is going to help in the following engagement. So now we'll just reposition Brave Camilla to safety here. And now Spring Camilla is in the range of the Troubadour, but with the bond skill and the buff to her res, she's only going to take 1 damage. She'll survive and counterattack and take out the Troubadour right quick. Enemy ranks are thinning, which is exactly what we like to see. The Red Mage is a threat, and we are able to take him out with a Drift Camilla. There we go. Perfect. And now we're going to just reposition a safety. Now, Adrift Camilla is in the range of the Fire Sweep Bow user, but Adrift Camilla has Miracle at the ready. So, we're going to let her take that hit, and we're just going to sit pretty as the enemy approaches. There we go, splash damage as well. And now we can take them out. Like I said, the Bow Cavalier has Fire Sweep Bow, so he cannot counterattack, and we're just going to take them out with Adrift Camilla on player phase, double and KO. And now we need to get the gravity going because we want to slow their approach. So we're going to use Brave Camilla on Legendary CORRIN here, get that gravity effect going, and then reposition to safety and shift to safety. And they're going to cycle here. And now we can use Vanilla Camilla with her Gale Force at a 1-turn charge to attack into the Red Thief. She'll proc her Gale Force and be able to attack again. And then finally we can finish off the Red Thief with Adrift Camilla on player phase, and that leaves CORRIN all by her lonesome, surrounded by the big sister that loves her. We're just going to use Brave Camilla at this point to go ahead and take out CORRIN on player phase. So that's it. That's the strategy that I employed with Camilla Emblem to clear Child of Dusk CORRIN on her very own Legendary Hero Battle on Abyssal difficulty. Let me know in the comments below what strategies and teams you ended up using to clear this Legendary Hero Battle map. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to leave us a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more Fire Emblem Heroes content. We thank you all so much for watching and for taking time out of your day to spend with us. We really, really do appreciate it. Certainly hoping you're all staying safe, healthy, secure, and united out there, and wishing the very, very best for you, your family, and your friends. And until next time, let's protect those skies.